I am going to confess something in this testimony now that could have sent me to prison for the rest of my life. If things had gone differently, if one specific moment had not happened on a Tuesday night in November, I would not be sitting here. I would be facing the ultimate punishment. Gone from this world. I am a Christian woman now. I teach Sunday school. I bake cookies for my neighbors. But 10 years ago, I stood in the kitchen of my childhood home, holding a canister of gas and a box of matches, and I was fully prepared to commit an unspeakable act while they slept. You are probably thinking, she is broken. And you are right, hate had made me broken. But before you judge me, you have to understand the cage I was living in. You have to understand that when you back an animal into a corner and you show it the knife, it will not just let you kill it, it will fight. My name is Miriam, and this is how Jesus stopped me from becoming a murderer. It didn't start with hate. That's the tragedy of it. It started with love. I was the only daughter. In my country, usually the sons are the kings. But my father, he had a soft spot for me. He called me his June, his life. We lived in a beautiful house with a high-walled garden. We had pomegranate trees. We had money. My father was a merchant, a man who commanded respect in the bazaar. My mother was a quiet woman, the kind of woman who expressed her love through food and constant worry. I was allowed to go to university. This was my pride. I was studying literature. I read Tolstoy. I read Dickens. I read the Persian poets. I lived in a world of words and romance. I thought my life would be like a book. I would finish school. I would fall in love with a handsome boy who quoted poetry. And my father, because he loved me, would give us his blessing. I was naive. I was so incredibly naive. I didn't realize that to my father, I wasn't just a daughter, I was an asset. I was a shiny coin in his pocket, waiting to be spent to buy him more influence. The change happened when I turned 21. I came home from university one afternoon, my bag full of books, humming a song. The house was unusually clean. The smell of saffron and lamb stew, gourmet sabzi, filled the air. My mother was rushing around, looking stressed. "Go change," she hissed at me. "Put on your best chador, the blue one. Wash your face. Make sure no hair is showing." "Who is coming?" I asked. "A friend of your father's, a very important man, Haji Malik." I felt a cold shiver. I knew the name. Everyone knew the name. Haji Malik was a man of power. He had connections to the government, to the religious police. He was wealthy, yes, but he was feared. And he was old. He was at least 55. I dressed. I served the tea. That is the woman's job, to be the invisible ghost who brings the tray. I walked into the living room. My father was sitting there looking nervous, laughing too loud at everything the Haji said. And there he was. Haji Malik. He was a heavy man. He had a beard that was dyed black to hide the gray, but you could tell. He had eyes that didn't smile. When I walked in, he didn't look at my face. He looked at me like a man looks at a horse he is about to buy. He checked my hips, he checked my hands. I poured the tea. My hand shook and the drops spilled onto the saucer. I expected him to be angry. Instead, he reached out and touched my wrist. His skin was rough and dry. "She is nervous," he laughed. "Modesty. Good. I like modesty." My father didn't defend me. He didn't tell him to take his hand off me. He just nodded. "Yes, Haji. She is a good girl, very obedient." I pulled my hand away and ran to the kitchen. I scrubbed my wrist with soap until it was red. I felt dirty. I felt a sense of doom settling over the house like a heavy fog. 2 days later, my father called me into his office. He didn't look me in the eye. He was looking at his paperwork. "Maryam," he said, "you are a lucky girl. Haji Malik has asked for your hand." The world stopped spinning. The floor seemed to tilt under my feet. "Baba," I whispered. "He is old. He could be my grandfather, and he has 2 wives already. He is a powerful man," my father said, his voice hardening. "This marriage will secure our family's future. His connection will help my business. He will protect you. You will live like a queen." "I don't want to be a queen," I shouted. "I want to finish my degree. I want to marry for love." He stood up and slapped the desk. "Love is for children. Love is a Western disease. You will do what is right for this family. It is decided. The wedding is in 2 weeks." "No," I said. It was the first time I had ever defied him. "No, I won't do it." He walked around the desk. He looked at me, and I saw the love in his eyes disappear. In that moment, I wasn't his June anymore. I was a rebellious employee. I was a problem to be solved. "You will do it," he said, his voice terrifyingly quiet, "or you will never leave this house again." He wasn't joking. That night, they took my phone. They took my laptop. They took my books. My mother, crying the whole time, locked my bedroom door from the outside. "It is for your own good, Maryam," she sobbed through the wood. "You must learn to submit. A woman's heaven is under her husband's feet." I spent 3 days in that room. I screamed. I banged on the door until my knuckles bled. I begged, "Mama, please, do you know what he is? Do you know what he will do to me?" But she wouldn't open the door. She would just slide a tray of food in and whisper, "Shh, shh, stop crying. You will ruin your pretty eyes for the wedding." That was the moment something inside me broke. My mother knew. She knew Haji Malik was a cruel man. There were rumors about how he treated his other wives. She knew I was being sold into a life of abuse and servitude, and she was helping him. My father, the man who held me when I was a baby, was selling me like a rug to save his business. The sadness began to dry up. The tears stopped, and in the dry, cracked riverbed of my heart, a new feeling began to flow. Hot, black, thick, hate. I stopped banging on the door. I stopped begging. I sat on my bed staring at the wall. I thought about my future. In 10 days, I would be in that man's house. I would be under his control. I would rather die. I thought about ending it all. I thought about a way out. I could just fade away. Too slow. They would just force-feed me. Then, a darker thought came. Why should I be the one to disappear? I didn't do anything wrong. I was the innocent one. They were the ones doing this. They were the ones selling their own flesh and blood. Why should I be the one to disappear? I remembered a story I read in the news, a gas leak. A whole family went to sleep and never woke up. It was painless, peaceful even. Our kitchen stove. It was old. The pilot light was faulty, and the canister of gas was kept in the pantry, a large industrial tank because the city lines were unreliable. If there was a leak, a significant leak, and a spark. The thought terrified me at first. I pushed it away. "No, Maryam, those are your parents." But then night came. I heard my father laughing on the phone downstairs. He sounded happy. He was probably calculating the money he would make from the deal. I heard my mother watching TV. They were living their lives. They were happy to sacrifice mine. The terror faded. The resolve set in. I wasn't a daughter anymore. I was a prisoner of war. And in war, you destroy the enemy before they destroy you. I needed to get out of the room. I needed to act submissive. The next morning, when my mother slid the food in, I spoke softly. "Mama, I am sorry." Silence on the other side. I was emotional. I lied. My voice sounded dead, but to her, it probably sounded like resignation. I understand now. Baba knows best. I will marry the Haji. I heard the lock turn. The door opened. My mother stood there looking relieved. She hugged me. I stood stiff as a board, letting her embrace me. I felt like a snake was wrapping around me. "Oh, June," she said. "I knew you would be sensible. Come have tea." I played the part perfectly. For the next week, I was the perfect bride. I let them fit the dress. I smiled at the relatives who came to congratulate me. Inside, I was screaming. Inside, I was counting the hours. I scouted the house. The gas canister was where I remembered, in the pantry, connected by a rubber hose to the stove. The equipment was old. I knew exactly how to make it happen. My parents slept on the ground floor because my father's knees were bad. My room was upstairs. Heat rises, but gas? Propane is heavy. It sinks. It would fill their room first. If I blocked the vents, if I locked the doors, I had it all worked out. Tuesday night, the night before the wedding. Everyone would be exhausted from the preparations. They would sleep deep. I would go down at 2 a.m. I would open the valve. I would go back to my room, pack my bag, and climb out the window onto the trellis. I had climbed it as a child. Then, from the garden, I would throw a match through the open pantry window. It wouldn't just be a leak, it would be a disaster. It would look like an accident. And even if they caught me, even if I went to prison, at least I wouldn't be under Haji Malik's control. I looked at my hands. They were trembling. I am going to end this, I thought. And the scariest part, I didn't feel guilty. I felt relieved. Tuesday night, 2 a.m. The house was silent. Not the peaceful silence of a home, but the heavy, suffocating silence of a tomb. I was fully dressed in black. I had my bag packed, just a change of clothes, the gold necklace my grandmother gave me to sell, and a bottle of water. I opened my bedroom door. Kriak. The hinge groaned. I froze. My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. Thump, thump, thump. I waited. Nothing. Just the rhythmic snoring of my father downstairs. I crept down the stairs, counting them. 1, 2, 3. I knew exactly which steps creaked. I moved like a ghost in my own home. I reached the kitchen. The moonlight was streaming in through the window, casting long, twisted shadows across the floor. It felt like the house knew what was about to happen. I walked to the pantry. My hands were cold, ice cold. I knelt down in front of the gas canister. It was a large orange metal tank. It looked dangerous. In a way, it was. I reached out and touched the valve. This is it, I told myself. This is justice. They sold you. Now they pay. I turned the valve. Shh. The sound was louder than I expected. It sounded like a snake striking. The smell hit me instantly. The sharp, rotten egg smell of mercaptan. I opened it all the way. The hissing filled the small pantry. I stood up. I felt dizzy, not from the fumes, but from the magnitude of what I was doing. I walked out of the kitchen. I left the pantry door open so the gas would flow into the hallway toward their bedroom door. Go, I told myself. Go now. Climb the trellis. Light the match. I walked toward the back door. I had my hand on the handle. I was 3 seconds away from leaving. 3 seconds away from becoming a murderer. 3 seconds away from hell. But I couldn't open the door. It wasn't locked. I had unlocked it earlier, but my hand, my arm, it wouldn't move. It felt heavy, like lead, like someone was holding my wrist with an iron grip. I tried to pull my hand away. I couldn't. I was paralyzed. Panic surged through me. What is happening? Is it a stroke? Is it fear? Then, the temperature in the room changed. It didn't get cold, it got hot, intensely, blistering hot. I spun around, expecting to see that the gas had already ignited, that I had set everything off by accident. But there was no fire. There was a man. He was standing in the hallway between me and the gas-filled kitchen. He wasn't glowing like a ghost. He looked solid. He was wearing white robes, but they looked like light woven into fabric. His face, I couldn't see his features clearly because the light coming from him was blinding, but I could feel his eyes. They were burning into me. I fell to my knees. My legs just gave out. I thought it was Azrael, the angel of death. I thought he had come to take my soul before I could take theirs. Do not kill me, I whispered, terrified. I haven't done it yet. Please. The man took a step toward me. He didn't walk. He glided. The hissing of the gas seemed to stop, or maybe I just couldn't hear it over the roaring in my ears. He reached out a hand. I expected him to strike me. I expected judgment. Instead, he placed his hand on top of my head. The heat was unbearable, but it didn't burn my skin. It burned my inside. It burned the hate. It felt like liquid fire pouring into my skull, washing down my spine. Then he spoke. He didn't speak Farsi. He didn't speak Arabic. He spoke directly into my mind in a language that my soul understood perfectly. Maryam, daughter. I shook my head, sobbing. No, I am not a daughter. I am a slave. I am a murderer. You are not a murderer, he said. His voice was like the sound of many waters, powerful but incredibly gentle. You are a prisoner, and I have come to open the cage, but not like this, not with fire. He pointed to the kitchen. Turn it off. I can't, I wept. I hate them. I hate them so much. If I turn it off, I die. They will give me to the Haji. The man knelt down so his face was level with mine. Trust me, he said. I have a third door. Turn it off and follow me. Then, as quickly as he came, he vanished. The light was gone. The dark kitchen returned, but the hissing sound was back. Shh. I was trembling so hard my teeth chattered. I was alone in the dark. The smell of gas was getting stronger. It was filling the hallway. I had a choice. I could walk out that door, light the match and finish it. No one would know about the vision. I could say it was a hallucination from the stress, or I could listen to the man in white. I have a third door. I stood up. My legs felt weak, like a newborn foal's. I held my breath against the fumes. I walked back into the kitchen, back into the pantry. I reached for the valve. My hand was shaking, but I grabbed the cold metal, righty-tighty. I turned it. The hissing stopped. Silence returned to the house. I didn't stop there. I ran to the windows. Quietly, desperately, I opened them. I opened the back door wide to let the draft in. I waved a kitchen towel frantically to disperse the gas pooling on the floor. I checked my parents' door. It was closed tight. They hadn't woken up. They were alive. I had spared them. Not because I loved them, I still didn't, but because the man told me to. I stood in the garden, breathing in the cold night air. The smell of jasmine mixed with the lingering smell of gas on my clothes. I looked at the house. My prison. I couldn't stay. The gas was off, but the wedding was still on. In 6 hours, the sun would rise. In 10 hours, the Haji would come. I realized what the man meant. Follow me. He didn't mean stay and submit. He meant move. I grabbed my bag. I didn't go back inside. I climbed over the garden wall, dropping into the dusty alleyway behind our street. I started running. I didn't know where I was going. I just ran. I ran until my lungs burned. I ran until the neighborhood gave way to the main road. I flagged down a bus that was heading north toward Tehran. It was a cargo bus carrying workers and chickens. I had no ticket. I offered the driver my gold necklace. He looked at it, bit it to check if it was real, and nodded. Get in the back. I sat in the back of that bus, squeezed between crates of vegetables. I pulled my chador tight around my face so no one would see me crying. I was homeless. I was penniless. I was a runaway woman in a country where running away is a crime. But as I watched the sun rise over the mountains, painting the desert in shades of purple and gold, I felt something strange. I felt light. I wasn't a murderer. My hands were clean. I didn't know who the man in white was, not yet. I didn't know his name was Jesus. I just knew that he had saved my parents from fire, and he had saved me from becoming a monster. I closed my eyes and whispered to the rhythm of the bus tires, "Show me the third door. Please, show me the door." I arrived in Tehran at midday. The bus dropped me off at the southern terminal, a place of dust, diesel fumes, and shouting men. I stepped off the bus and immediately felt the weight of 1,000 eyes. In my country, a young woman alone is a target. If the moral police saw me, disheveled, nervous, carrying a bag, they would ask for my papers. They would ask where my father or husband was. And when I couldn't answer, they would arrest me. And if they called my father, if they sent me back, I knew he wouldn't just lock me in my room this time. He would end my life. Honor demands blood. I became a ghost. I pulled my chador tight. I walked with my head down. I tried to make myself small, invisible. I walked for hours. I couldn't check into a hotel. They require ID. I couldn't go to a bank. They would track me. I was in the middle of a city of 12 million people, and I was completely alone. By nightfall, I was exhausted. My feet were blistered. My stomach was twisting with hunger. I found a small park in a quieter neighborhood. I sat on a bench under a plane tree, clutching my bag to my chest. I was terrified. Is this the third door? I thought bitterly. To die of cold on a park bench? I closed my eyes and whispered into the dark. Man in white, you told me to follow. I followed. Where are you? Sister? I jumped. My heart hammered against my ribs. A woman was standing in front of me. She was older, maybe 40. She had a kind face, worn but gentle. She was holding a bag of flatbread. Go away, I whispered, pulling my knees up. I have no money. She sat down on the other end of the bench. She didn't look at me. She looked straight ahead, as if we were just two strangers enjoying the night air. You look like you are running, she said softly. You look like a bird that fell out of the nest. I didn't answer. I gripped the handle of my bag. Was she a spy? Was she going to sell me out? I was running once too, she continued. I had a husband who beat me. I had a life that felt like a cage. I thought there was no way out. I looked at her then. There was something about her voice. It didn't have the edge of judgment I was used to. It had peace. What happened? I asked, my voice barely a croak. She turned to me. She looked deep into my eyes, and I saw a flicker of that same light I had seen in the hallway. Just a spark. I met a man who opens doors, she said. He told me, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. My breath hitched. Rest. That was all I wanted. Who is he? I asked. Is he a smuggler? She smiled, a secret, knowing smile. Come with me, she said. My name is Zara. You cannot sleep here. The wolves come out at night. My brain screamed, danger! But my spirit remembered the voice in the kitchen. Trust me. I stood up. My legs were shaking. I am Mariam, I said. She took me to an apartment building a few blocks away. We walked quickly. She checked behind us twice to make sure we weren't being followed. We went up 3 flights of stairs. She knocked on a plain metal door, a specific rhythm. Knock, knock. Pause. Knock. The door opened. I expected a house full of women. Maybe a shelter. Instead, I saw a living room full of people. Men and women, sitting on the floor. They weren't watching TV. They weren't smoking. They were holding books, and they were singing. They were singing in a whisper so the neighbors wouldn't hear. Isa, Isa, King of Kings. I froze in the doorway. Isa? Jesus? These were Christians. I had stumbled into a secret church. In my father's house, Christians were considered unclean. They were considered traitors to the nation. But as I looked at their faces, I didn't see traitors. I saw joy. I saw a man with tattoos crying as he prayed. I saw a young girl reading out loud. Zara led me in. Do not be afraid, she said. This is a safe house. They made room for me. They brought me tea, hot food, a blanket. No one asked for my ID. No one asked about my father. They just treated me like a long-lost sister. An older man, the leader, looked at me. Welcome, daughter. What brings you to us? I looked around the circle. I took a deep breath, and I told them. I told them about the Haji, about the gas canister, about the match, and then I told them about the man. He was made of light, I said, my voice trembling. He told me not to use fire. He told me he had a third door. The room went silent. Zara started to cry silently. The leader smiled, a huge, radiant smile. Mariam, he said gently, do you know who that was? Was it an angel? I asked. Was it a prophet? He opened his book. He turned the pages and handed it to me. Read this. It was the Gospel of John. Chapter 8. I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. I stared at the words, light of the world. I looked up at the leader. It was him, I whispered. It was Jesus. He nodded. He came for you, Miriam. He saw you in the pantry. He saw your pain. He didn't want you to be a murderer. He wanted you to be free. That night, surrounded by strangers who risked their lives just to sing his name, I fell to my knees. I didn't pray the prayers of my childhood. I didn't wash my hands or cover my head. I just opened my hands and said, Isa, you saved my parents from me. Now please, save me from myself. I walk through your door. I felt that weight, the heavy, crushing weight of hate and fear, lift off my shoulders. It was physically lighter in the room. I was free. I stayed in the safe house for 2 weeks. I learned so much. I learned that God is love. I learned that I am not a slave, but a child. But outside those walls, the danger was growing. Zara came home one evening, looking pale. Miriam, she said, we have a problem. She showed me a flyer. It was a missing person poster. It had my photo, my university ID photo. It said, runaway. Mentally unstable, dangerous, reward for information. They are looking for you, Zara said. Your father has hired private trackers. They are searching the shelters. They are searching the bus terminals. My blood ran cold. My father wasn't giving up. He viewed me as stolen property and he wanted it back. If they find me here, I said, they will arrest all of you. You will all go to prison for apostasy. We are not afraid of prison, the leader said, but we must protect you. You cannot stay in Iran. It is too dangerous. If they catch you, they will end your life. Where can I go? I asked. I have no passport. My father has it. The leader looked at Zara. They exchanged a look of heavy decision. There are ways, the leader said, dangerous ways over the mountains to Turkey. 3 nights later, I was in the back of a Toyota pickup truck. It was freezing. We were driving through the Zagros mountains. There were 10 of us in the truck bed, covered by a smelly tarp used for sheep. Me, 3 other women, and 6 men, all refugees, all running from something. The driver was a smuggler, a Kurdish man with hard eyes who demanded cash up front. The church had pooled their money to pay for my seat. They gave everything they had to save me. The ride was a nightmare. The truck bounced over rocky paths that weren't even roads. Dust filled my mouth. We had to be silent. If the border patrol heard us, they would shoot. They don't ask questions in the mountains, they just shoot. We drove for 6 hours. Then, the truck stopped. Get out, the smuggler whispered. We walk from here. It was pitch black. The wind was howling. We started climbing. The snow was deep. I was wearing cheap sneakers Zara had given me. My feet went numb within minutes. We walked for hours, up steep ridges, sliding on ice. At one point I slipped. I fell hard, sliding down toward a drop-off. A hand grabbed my jacket. It was one of the other refugees. He pulled me back up. Keep moving, he hissed. Don't stop or you die. I wanted to stop. My body was screaming. I wanted to lie down in the snow and sleep. But then I remembered the kitchen. I remembered the fire I almost lit. I remembered the man in white. Follow me. I am following, I panted, my breath coming in clouds of steam. I am following. We reached the crest of the mountain just as dawn broke. The smuggler pointed down into the valley below. A different country. Turkey. Run, he said. Run until you see the lights of the village. We ran. We scrambled down the rocks, tearing our clothes, bruising our skin. We heard shouting behind us. Gunshots echoed in the canyons. Pop, pop. but they were far away. The border guards were too late. I crossed an invisible line in the dirt. I fell onto the grass on the other side. I was bruised. I was freezing. I was a criminal in my own country. But as I looked up at the sky, I realized something. I was alive. My parents were alive. And I was free. Turkey was not the promised land. It was a waiting room. I spent 2 years there, 2 years of living in a small apartment with 3 other refugee women, 2 years of waiting for the UN to process my case, 2 years of looking over my shoulder, afraid my father's trackers would find me. It was a hard time. I scrubbed floors in a restaurant under the table for cash. My hands, which used to hold literature books, became rough and cracked from bleach. I was tired, I was lonely, but I was not empty. I found a church in Istanbul. It was in a basement, just like in Tehran. But here we could sing a little louder. I was baptized in a bathtub in that apartment. When I went under the water, I felt the last of the old Maryam die. The Maryam who was a victim. The Maryam who was a commodity. The Maryam who held a match in a gas-filled kitchen. She stayed under the water, and the woman who came up was new. I remember reading Matthew 5 verse 44. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This was the hardest test. I had spared my parents' lives, but love them? Pray for them? Every time I thought of my father's face, the cold, calculating look when he sold me to the Haji, I felt the old anger rise up. How can I love a man who treated me like a sheep at a market? But then I remembered the man in white. I remembered his mercy toward me. I was ready to commit murder, and he called me daughter. If he could forgive a murderer, I had to forgive a merchant. 6 months before I was granted asylum in Canada, I did the hardest thing I have ever done. Harder than crossing the mountains. I went to a call center. I dialed the number I had memorized since childhood. Ring. Ring, ring. My heart was in my throat. I almost hung up. Then, a click. Hello? It was my mother. Her voice sounded older, tired. Mama, I whispered, it's Maryam. Silence, long, heavy silence. Then I heard a gasp. Maryam, Maryam, oh God, you are alive. We thought you were dead in the mountains. We thought the smugglers took you from us. She was crying, genuine, racking sobs. Where are you? Come home. Please come home. Your father. He is sick. The stress. He is not the same. I can't come home, Mama, I said gently. I am safe, but I am not coming back. Then I heard a rustling sound. The phone changed hands. Maryam? It was my father. His voice was weak. The booming authority was gone. Baba, I said. You shamed us? He rasped, but there was no fire in it, just defeat. The Haji. He was furious. He took his business elsewhere. We lost so much money, the neighbors talk. You ruined us. I closed my eyes. Even now, after thinking I was dead, his first thought was his reputation, his money. The old Maryam would have screamed at him. The old Maryam would have told him about the gas canister, told him how close he came to burning. But the new Maryam took a breath. Baba? I said firmly. I am sorry for your loss of money, but I am not sorry for saving my life. I am calling to tell you something important. What? He snapped. I am calling to tell you that I forgive you. Silence on the line. What? I forgive you for selling me. I forgive you for locking me in the room. And I want you to know, I serve Jesus now. He is the one who saved me, and he is the one who told me to spare you. Do not speak that name, he hissed, the anger flaring up. You are an infidel. I am your daughter, I said, and I love you. I pray for you every day. Goodbye, Baba. I hung up the phone. I stood in that call center trembling. He didn't accept my apology. He didn't accept my faith. But the chain was broken. He didn't own my emotions anymore. I had released him to God. I was finally, truly free. Today I live in Toronto. It is cold here, much colder than Tehran, but the people are warm. I finished my degree. I am not a literature professor, but I work as a counselor. I work with women who have escaped domestic violence, women from Iran, Afghanistan, Syria. I see them come in, bruised, scared, looking over their shoulders. I see the look in their eyes, the look of a trapped animal, the look I had in the pantry. And I tell them my story. I tell them about the cage. I tell them about the rage. And I tell them about the third door. Last year, I was speaking at a conference. A woman came up to me afterward. She was wearing a hijab. She was weeping. I hate my husband, she whispered. I pray for him to die every night. I feel like I am drinking poison. I took her hands, the same hands that once held a match, and I held hers. I know the poison, I told her, but I know the antidote. Let me tell you about the man in white. We prayed together. I saw that same weight lift off her shoulders that lifted off mine in the safe house. That is my life now. I am a lighter of fires, but not fires of destruction, fires of hope. Sometimes, when I am cooking dinner in my safe, quiet apartment, I smell gas. Maybe I turned the stove on too early. And for a split second, I am back there. I am back in the dark Fadar's pantry. I feel the cold metal of the canister. I feel the hate curling in my stomach like a snake. It is a terrifying memory. But then I look out the window. I see the snow falling on the Canadian streets. I see my Bible sitting on the table. And I say a prayer of thanks. I thank God that He didn't let me get what I wanted. I wanted revenge. He gave me redemption. I wanted to end their lives. He gave me a new life. I wanted to burn down my house. He built me a home that cannot be destroyed. If you are listening to this and you feel trapped, if you feel like the walls are closing in, if you feel like the only way out is to do something terrible, something drastic, please stop. Take your hand off the valve, drop the match. There is a third door. His name is Jesus. He sees you in the dark. He sees your pain. And He is ready to walk you out of the prison if you will just take His hand. My name is Maryam. I was almost a murderer, but now I am a daughter of the King. Thank you for listening.